Most people see Islam through the lens of its history or its politics. But there is a secret current running beneath the surface, a science of the soul that seeks purify spiritual dimensions to make the process of fulfilling the obligations easy. This is Sufism, or Tasawwuf. Early in the 20th century, a British scholar named Reynold A. Nicholson dedicated his life to translating the poetry of Rumi, revealing a map of the human psyche that was centuries ahead of its time. Decades later, the legendary Annemarie Schimmel brought a different light to the field, showing us that Sufism is a path of love, woven into the very fabric of Islamic art, calligraphy, and daily life. Today, we are diving deep into the teachings of these two giants. We'll explore where Sufism comes from, why it's considered the marrow of the Islamic tradition, and how Nicholson and Schimmel helped the West fall in love with the Islamic rose and the nightingale. The role of the Prophet. Correction of common misconception. Many think Sufism ignores Islamic law. Schimmel emphasizes that for the great Sufis, the Prophet Muhammad is the perfect man, al-insan al-kamil, and the ultimate model of spiritual conduct. The Nicholson perspective. Reynold A. Nicholson, the man who brought Rumi to the English-speaking world, defined Sufism not as a set of rules, but as a spiritual experience. Nicholson's idea from the mystics of Islam that Sufism is the phenomenon of mysticism within Islam. It is the pursuit of marifat, gnosis, or direct personal knowledge of God. Quote idea, Sufism is the religious philosophy of Islam. Core teachings, the path, tariqah. To explain the how of Sufism, you can break it down into three pillars frequently discussed by Schimmel. The journey of the soul. Annemarie Schimmel, in her seminal work, Mystical Dimensions of Islam, describes the Sufi path as a journey from the self to the divine. The nafs, the ego or lower self that must be disciplined. The remembrance of God. Schimmel highlights how the rhythmic repetition of God's names is intended to polish the mirror of the heart so it can reflect divine light. Love and yearning, ishq. While Nicholson focused heavily on the philosophical evolution, Schimmel excelled at explaining the poetry of Sufism. References: Nicholson, R.A., 1914, The Mystics of Islam, London, G. Bell and Sons. Schimmel, A., 1975, Mystical Dimensions of Islam, University of North Carolina Press. Nicholson, R.A. 1921, Studies in Islamic Mysticism, Cambridge University Press. We learn from Nicholson that the Sufi path is a rigorous psychological ascent, a stripping away of the ego, or fana, until nothing remains but the divine. And we learn from Schimmel that this journey is draped in beauty, that every verse of the Quran and every flower in a garden is a sign pointing back to a beloved creator. Sufism, as these scholars proved, is not an addition to Islam. It is its interior heartbeat. It reminds us that while the law provides the banks of the river, Sufism is the water that actually quenches the traveler's thirst. As Annemarie Schimmel often suggested, the Sufi's goal is to become a polished mirror, to clear away the dust of worldly distraction so that the light of God can be reflected clearly within the human heart. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the mystical dimension. If this sparked a light in you, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's spiritual traditions. Until next time, keep seeking the hidden within the apparent